What's up, everyone? It's Mac Attack. And have you ever been guilty of this? If you want your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, significant other, family, or friend to call you more often, how do you think it would be to nag them to call? And when they finally do call, do you greet them with statements like, "Oh, you finally picked up the phone"? Well, wonders never cease, right? Or why do I always have to be the one to initiate the calls, right? So what you're really doing is training him or her not to call you. You're giving them pain right after they do the very thing you want. What will happen as a result of this? Pain will be absolutely linked to calling you, and they'll avoid it even more in the future. In many cases, this pattern is continuous, going on for months until you felt he or she couldn't win. And if he or she didn't call, they'd get pain. And if they did call, they'd get pain. As you might guess, really, this pattern of negative reinforcement, really, it permeates many aspects of relationships. And eventually the relationship ends. So if you truly want someone to call you, then when they do call you, respond with delight. If you tell them how much you miss them, how much you love them, how grateful you are, right, to be able to talk with them, don't you think that they'll be more inclined to call again? Remember, link pleasure to any behavior that you want someone to repeat. Now, I've noted that most companies try to motivate their employees by using negative reinforcement, right, as their primary strategy, trying to use fear of punishment or just as its prime motivator, right? This will work in the short term, but not so much in the long term. Sooner or later, the company is going to run into the same problem, right? People will live in fear only for so long before they revolt. And the second major strategy companies use in financial incentives is financial incentives. While this is an excellent idea, it's usually appreciated, right? But there's a limit to its effectiveness. There's a point of diminishing return, right? Which all additional incentives don't really induce a greater quality of work from people. In fact, most companies find that there's a limit to what they can do in this area. If one constantly reinforces with money, people begin to expect that when they do something of great value, they must have an immediate economic return. They begin to strictly work for financial reward and won't do anything unless they get it, surpassing and stripping the capacity of the business to keep up with economic demands and from its employees. So the third and most powerful way to motivate people is through personal development, which precedes professional development. So by helping your employees grow and expand personally, they begin to feel passionate about life, people, and their job. This makes their employees want to contribute more, right? So they do it out of a sense of personal pride now rather than pressure from the outside. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have incentive program, right? An incentive program, just make sure that you have the most powerful incentive of all, which is to help people expand and grow. Thoughtful Thursday, guys. Mac Attack. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Appreciate you all.